Well, hello, people. Apparently, I am live. Fantastic. Okay. Live moon until my neighbor's palm tree attacks it. So let's watch this for a bit. Hope everybody is doing really well. What background am I running right now? Let me see. Let me. There we go. Can't really see it anyway, but I'm doing a full screen share. All right. Well, so from yesterday, what I've done differently, I swapped out my other camera. In fact, let me go get the camera so I can do a little show and tell. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hang on. I'm coming. Gotta get headphones back on and camera back on. Okay. So let me make me bigger. This is my QHY camera. QHY is a Chinese manufacturer. You can see the chip in there. It's a full frame sensor. USB 3.0 port. This is, what is this for again? Filter wheel. It's for the color filter wheel. And that's the 12 volt power for it. Of course, it's cooled. And then this thing attaches to the front of it. This is an off-axis guider. So you have, this is a camera, a little camera here, which is loose in there. So the light comes through, hits the pickoff prism. Obviously the light passes through, it goes to the chip. You know, it connects like, essentially like that. And then it picks off just a little bit of light and comes up to this camera here, which monitors the location XYZ of the star and keeps the telescope centered on that piece there. So that's what that is. But the chip is so big on this camera that I get a lot of vignetting. And also the size of the image is so large that it takes forever to download. So this camera that I'm using tonight is one purpose made really for doing exactly what I'm doing right now, which is doing live view. So this is literally capturing, let's see, 0 drop frames. It's about 19.2 frames per second. All right, what do we got going on over here? We have Nevada Dark Skies came in. Hello, hello. How are you? Never had any luck getting remote desktop to work. Team viewer, any desk, no machine work flawlessly, but not remote desktop. So you have to have Windows Pro, like Windows 10 Pro. That's what has it. I have it on both of my machines. I just spent the money and got it. And it's pretty easy. I just follow the YouTube video that says, you know, turn this on, make sure this was connected or whatever. I did the IP address of the remote machine. I don't use names of the machine. I made sure that I didn't need to have passwords and stuff on the remote machine. And all that, it was just a YouTube video. Yeah. It's a lot of the problem is that they try to stop you from doing certain things for security reasons. But let me see if I can actually find it real quick here. I've got a filter by this year because they keep changing things. I have not upgraded to Windows 11 yet. In fact, it's so easy. I actually have it on my phone and my tablet, my iPad, and I just immediately can connect. It's not a problem at all. So, like, here is, for example, sorry, I don't mean to have the video or the audio, but here's MD Tech Videos International: How to Easily Set Up Remote Desktop on Windows 10 11. I think I followed something very similar to this, and whatever I did, it works fine because I can download remote desktop application for my phone or my tablet, go in really easy. It's not even a problem at all. It works super easy. And I just have one of those little remote computers that I got from Amazon. I spent a little extra money for it because I wanted a nice one, but yeah, we'll see what happens here. So welcome in. Dad that shouldn't be is in. Hello, hello. If he feels like stopping in, I did send him a link. He might be able to pop in if he wants. Right now we're just doing Moon Live. Now you'll see some shadows across the moon. It is not clouds. It is not airplanes. It is my neighbor's trees. So when I moved in and I was really excited about my backyard and being able to set up my telescope, the neighbors to my east had very, very small palm trees. And then they left, they moved out, and the new neighbors, of course, moved in and they started watering them and fertilizing them. And now they are about 40 feet high. So you can see I just jumped in brightness. That is because it is compensating for lower light because of the tree branches. And I have the exposure set for auto, sorry. And so it just jumped it up real quick. We will go find other things to look at in a little bit, guys. I'm just focusing on the moon at this point. While it's available, because in a little bit it'll be behind my house and I won't be able to see it at all. I wish I would have had it set up during that eclipse we had a couple of weeks back, but unfortunately we had issues. Hello, Curtis Horn. How are you? Good evening. To catch you up, actually, let me see if I can change my. Actually, well, first of all, let me make this full screen, and I'll put the chat overlay on there so you guys can see what's happening here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to graphics, and I'm going to go to. Let's see here. I think I have to go default graphics. No. Captions. That's what it needs to be. All right, I got to edit this. So give me a second because I changed some stuff. Nope, actually it's correct. So I'll just go ahead and show it along the bottom. There we go. Tells you a little bit about the equipment that I'm using tonight. I did send you a link. I sent it in DMs. Oh, you don't have to do that, Matt. It's not a big deal. Will be brief. I don't think he can be brief. Good evening. There's no way I'm able to pronounce that. You're gonna have to spell it out to me phonetically so I can pronounce it. Let me go to Twitter. Up there's Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hey, bro, can you hear me?
What? I can hear you just fine, loud and clear.
Yeah. No, so I, for some stupid reason, I noticed that Twitter, I use Brave as a browser, and some reason Twitter just dies when I give it its own window. So I have to reload it. I didn't get a notification.
I am not streaming on Twitch. I have my other YouTube channel. I have 2 YouTube channels. I'm doing to both.
Yeah. I was gonna say before I noticed the link. I work in IT for a living. So if you have any questions about stuff, just shoot me. DM or whatever.
Well,
I
yeah,
use
somebody
remote.
a minute ago was saying that they couldn't. Let me see. Yeah, Nevada Desert Skies was having a hard time with getting a remote desktop to work.
Yeah, I use RDP at least a dozen or more times a day. So just all it's one of the things.
Looks like the tree is starting to encroach on this thing quite a bit here. Sorry, you know what? I made a bowl of popcorn right before I started. I'm gonna have to mute the mic when I eat it.
It's okay. I'm a walking advertisement for Pepsi. So hey, Pepsi, if you want to be a sponsor of my channel, go for it.
Oh, I was so addicted to Pepsi until my doctor said knock it the hell off, so I had to stop.
Well, I only drink diet soda. I can't actually drink
That's
the
what
Ring.
this is. This is in here. I have a Diet 7 Up. It's the only diet drink I can handle because I can't do the aftertaste.
Yeah, yeah. I prefer stuff with like sucralose for no aftertaste. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to have some vices. If diet soda is my worst vice, then I'm
Well,
doing
yeah,
okay.
but I've been borderline type 2 for so long that
Oh,
they're just mad at me. They said you gotta lose weight and get off of all sugar, and so I'm like, okay, fine. I have to do. I'm
I,
gonna do.
Yeah, I don't look it, but I've had bariatric surgery, so I'm almost immune to diabetes because to eat that much sugar, I would just have a negative response right away. So
Hmm.
so what
Oh,
what
I
are you
still
looking at?
cheat. I just have a pill. I take a
Yeah.
pill twice a day, and
Oh,
it
okay.
it
That's
helps
good.
my insulin resistance.
Yeah. Oh, good. You maintain your health. That's excellent.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, my A1C is like 6.5 or something. It's not bad.
Not to distract your channel, but I work in healthcare IT, and I just had a blood test done, and
Mm-hmm.
they just enabled a new application that lets the patients like know right away about the results. And I logged in the next day to my email and I saw like health alerts popping up from my blood test, which had hundreds of subtests on. And of course, they're showing up as like there's a given range of like say 5 milliliters to 5.7, and I had one and a bunch of like 5.8 or whatever, which is no problem. But I got spammed with a whole bunch of alerts.
Mm-hmm.
I was laughing. I was like, "Oh my god, they're going to drive patients crazy with this."
All right. So what I want to do tonight here, Matt, is and
Sure.
I'm not looking at chat right now. I apologize for anyone who's talking to me here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change out the software really quick because this is the one I was using just a minute ago was for planetary imaging, as you can see there on the left. I'm going to go to live stacking, which is a different thing here. And that way I can do, well, exactly that. So let me see that. The thing is about this is that I have to change glasses. Give me a second here. Because it's gray with like a different color red. And I can't see it. So give me 1 second here. I gotta shift myself around.
So are you
But
RDPing into that?
yeah.
Okay, so I didn't see the very first part of this, but when you RDP, there's settings for like your color depth and your resolution and all that. I found in my experience uh, that sometimes you have to go back and double check those on your session if you're having a problem like this.
Everything just locked up. Hang on. I don't know what's going on here. What the heck? Yeah, everything's locked up over there. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can't do that.
Now, so I'll continue while you're doing that, just to keep the audience entertained. So for RDP, there are third-party tools which are much more powerful than what Microsoft gives you in Windows, for example. I'm not going to go into them, but if you wanted to, if you really had to get into it, like at work, I have to use Microsoft tools because it's the way they set it up. But personally, I would not, if I had to do it extensively, if I like expanded my IT business on the side, I wouldn't be using Microsoft tools to do RDP. It just not saying you have to do it here. I'm just letting people know there are more
Mm-hmm.
powerful tools than Microsoft includes in Windows.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. It's everything's completely frozen. So let me see if I can reconnect.
Can you minimize the session?
Yeah, I could. Hold on.
Try minimize, maximize. It might re-trigger it to refresh a bit.
There we go. Okay, I got that. I got that working.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna hit play. All right, and then I'm gonna do exposure, and I'm gonna do like maybe 30 seconds. I'm gonna turn the cooler on. And then I'm gonna do live stack. I'm gonna see what we have here. It might be that my gain is too low. Okay, hold on. We got one coming in here in a second here.
So what is this software? Like an image viewing program?
Yeah, this one right here is specific to the camera that I have.
Oh, okay.
It's that's why I switched the cameras around yesterday. But histogram is on auto. But see, once again, I'm gonna have to change it back again. I have to lean over all weird in order to see it. Hang on. Noise reduction. Make the image fit the window. All right, let's stop the camera for a second. Clear all the stacked images, yes. There we go. I bet that's what I needed to do. All right, we'll see what happens now. I think I had the gain on that wrong. I haven't done this in a while. Let me turn off the chat overlay. Make it bigger.
So Mike is working through all that. So he and I have a common interest in science and space stuff. So, we've been talking behind the scenes about stuff like that. Pretty cool to find people with similar interests, you know.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun stuff here. Let me see if I can make this big. And then I'll do, again, stretch to fit. Okay. Which one was I on? I think I was on M92. Yep, I was on M92. Bezier 92, Globular Cluster, a magnitude of 6.4. And this is by the way, anyone at home, this is Stellarium. It's a free, cheap, it's free, what do you call it? Planetarium software. Really, really fun to use, and it's attractive software. It looks really nice. You could do different landscapes. You could even upload your own if you want. You go out in the backyard, and you do a 360 degree with your camera, and then paste it in there. There's obviously a how-to and how to do all that stuff, but it makes things a lot of fun. So we'll go on to another one in a little bit, but let's first, let's see what we got. We're going to do some stacking. So Matt, the way that the live stacking works, it's pretty obvious. It should be to you. How this works is there's the signal to noise ratio. And so the more lights that you stack, the higher signal to noise ratio. So right now you see a lot of the background kind of modeling. It's kind of fuzzy. Yeah. That'll become cleaner and cleaner the more images are stacked. So right now we have 5 stacked at 30 seconds each. I think at 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds.
And if people wonder why I'm looking to the side, I have his screen blown up on my other monitor so I can see it really good.
I'll adjust the brightness a little bit here. There we go. You can see the dust motes that have some dust on the filter. You got 2 on the right there along the edge, a couple above, 1 below. I tried to blow them all off, but it wasn't easy to do. So there we go. So are you familiar with globular clusters, Matt?
In the physics concept, yeah. In like the astronomy, like you looking at them all the time, no.
What do you know about them?
Um, clusters of forming stars or something like that, if I remember right. You know, basically, I guess from the point of view of physics, the universe is stretching out. So that was the best way to explain it. Like at one point, it was infinitesimally small, and it's been gradually stretching out into whatever, however big it is now. And at one point, these clusters, like a globular cluster, is the remnant of something that was once much more close together, and we kind of see it there. You know what I mean? It's still part of the universe where it's still mass is still clumped up that we can detect. That's original, as opposed to new clumps like black holes that form over time. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, that's a better explanation than I just gave. And you're muted, Mike. I don't know if I can't hear you, but I don't know if anyone else can.
Yeah, sorry, my fault. Yeah, you're right. I was going to say the non-physics more common term of globular cluster, a clump of stars.
Yeah,
like dropping salt on a black piece of paper. It's just a whole bunch of them together. My favorite is Messier 13, which we'll peek at in a little bit here, but I want to give us one a go here.
I got an interesting anecdote there for you about that.
Yeah, go
so we see, like, if you have a really low grade telescope, I mean in the sense of not high resolution, what you see as a globular cluster might look like a star, right? Because you don't have the resolution to discern.
Sure. Yeah.
So remember when the Hubble went up back in was 85 or in 90, somewhere around there, and they first got the cameras working after the repair. And the Hubble, for those who don't know, our atmosphere distorts what comes in that you can pick up on optical telescopes. So the Hubble was outside the atmospheric envelope. And when they first got the working camera up and they looked at, I think it's called the deep view or something like that, what they previously thought were single stars were actually clusters of like hundreds and thousands of galaxies. You know, and that's the amazing thing about this sort of science. And now we think we have a lot of advanced science. And another, like, I did a report about the telescope that just went up, the James Kepler, right? And how that's going to be even more advanced, you know, in terms of picking stuff up. You know, it's just. And then there was another one I did talking about a new type of telescope. They want to put, I think it's a gravity-based telescope, which they've worked out the physics concept of it, but you have to do it completely in space, and you have to use like gravity to sort of alter the light and use the effect of relativity, and it will improve resolution by orders of magnitude on this stuff. You know, like to the point where they think they would look at other planets and see like trees. You know.
Yeah.
The engineering is amazing.
I got to see which one this is. Starlink. Goddamn Starlink.
Oh, that's what you're using over there?
It's the satellite right there.
Oh, the satellite. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. That's another.
All right, we'll go over to the Hercules one real quick, and let me go here and stop this one. Oops, wrong one. I don't want to do that. I want to do here, stop. I want to clear it so that we don't have to deal with any more of those. And then I'm going to slew it over to Hercules right there. Control 1. Okay, we are pointed at Hercules, and then I'm going to go back now. And we'll start. That's not it. I think that's the old one. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, it looks like the old
God,
one.
I hate the color thing. Wonder if I can change it here. 1 second here. General. Autosave stacked image. I need to change the color scheme so What is this?
Oh, he's doing that. I
Oh,
was going to
light.
say
I
before.
can do that. I can actually see that now.
Oh,
Okay.
well, yeah. The amount of satellites and stuff we have floating up there in the atmosphere, hundreds of thousands or something now.
Yeah. You wish to clear stack the images? Yes. Okay. Okay, that must be, yeah, that's Hercules. See how much bigger it is?
Yeah, and there's more clarity in the middle too.
Mm-hmm. Although there's something going on up here, and I may think it's a cloud up there. I'm supposed to have partly cloudy skies tonight, so or mostly clear. That's actually the language. So it's probably a little bit of high clouds they're coming through.
Are you like in a desert type area or something?
Yeah, Southern California, it's kind of deserty, but I am up against mountains,
Okay.
so I do get a couple of. I
You're on the
have some
coastal
issues with
side, so
dew.
the clouds, yeah.
So it looks like it's doing 3-second images here. Let me see. Does it say here? I could put darks and all that, but I'm not going to do that tonight. What is this? Switch between single frame image and stacked images. What is this? This is. Histogram is on auto. Okay. No, it's doing 30 seconds. We're good. Okay. So let me, while it's doing that, I'll come over here and I'll look for our next target here. We did M92. That was M13. So real quick, if I show you the entire thing here and I'll pull up constellation art, you can see we're right in the left hip, or actually his right hip, to our left. It says Hercules' right hip is where M13 is.
Yeah.
If we use just constellation lines, let me see here. Oh wait, wrong one. That one. You see where it is. And then M92 we did earlier was right here. So I'm kind of going up a little bit. You have the Spindle Galaxy. What I could do is the little red box is my field of view. So you can see that it's difficult to see some of these. It's going to be too big. But we can try, for example.
So this is what your telescope is picking up right now?
No, this is the red square just shows the field of view of my camera, like what it would, how it'd frame an image, and this is just an image that's built into the Stellarium software.
Oh, I get what also.
Yeah, it's showing you that's at this spot.
Okay, I get it.
So like I'm over here. This is what I'm actually looking at. This is a live image here.
Yeah. And then the other software kind of gives you information based on the image.
Yeah, and there's the stacked image right there. You can see it's a lot cleaner.
Yeah. Do you do time lapses with this stuff?
Not with this software. I actually, this camera is not really good for time lapses. I use my DSLR if I'm doing time lapses.
And when I was more into astronomy as a kid, which is before all this like digital stuff, I was kind of fascinated by time lapses, like celestial objects. Like they like the whole concept. Like you can look at it and it doesn't seem like it's moving, but if you look at like still pictures over say a week or whatever, it really they do move around. You know.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna stop this image right here. We have to wait for it to complete. We'll have one more. We have stacked 8 on there, so that was 8 of M13. And I can zoom in a little bit so people can actually perhaps see a little bit. See if I can do that. Now, if I did darks, flats, and all those things, all the different calibration files, I can make this really smooth in the background. Okay, so there's the individual image. Okay, well I'm gonna clear this out, and I'm gonna go over to a galaxy. See how we do over on the galaxy. This is gonna be M101, the Pinwheel Galaxy. So we're gonna hit Control 1 to sleep over there. You'll see a little reticle that's kind of orange color come along at some point. Where's it at? It may have had to do a flip. There it is at the bottom. It doesn't pulse like that. It's just the software's pulsing. The telescope itself is slewing very smoothly. All right, we're there. And now I'm going to do that again. This time I'm going to bump it up, though, from 30 to 60. Let's see how 60 does. Okay, we'll actually just look at one. We'll do one frame. I'm going to see if it's even going to be close to being good. Let me mute it for a second. Eat some popcorn.
Excuse me. I might freeze up for a second. I want to check something.
Salty Texas Sea says, "Hail, my dude." Hail, sir. He's working on a huge project. I have a chat. I do. You're the only person watching right now, dude.
Well, it's good entertainment. You know, I was going to be up to at least 2 or 3 in the morning because of the way my work schedule is. I went back to work today after 2 weeks of vacation, and it felt like it felt like my vacation never happened. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I'm simultaneously broadcasting to my astronomy channel as well. See, that's a cloud. But you could see where the galaxy is. Like there's the core of it right there. So I'm dodging clouds apparently tonight. That's unfortunate. I hope it doesn't really come and get me all night because I was looking for some ideas. Okay, let me point to a different area of the sky here and let's see. There's north. Let's see. What can I go and find?
It's an interesting pattern with the cloud, the way it obscures and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all around it is clear. It's just like a little finger that comes up. There's a southern Pinwheel Galaxy, but yeah, let's go. Let's see. It might be. Let me see where it is on elevation there. It might be high enough. Let's go to it and find out. Let's go to it and find out. Now you want corn? Yeah. I keep having to mute the mic so I don't annoy people with my crunching, smacking lips. All right, so we are. Yeah, we should have an image coming up here, but it's going to be a streaked image because it was exposed while it was moving, so it's going to be like lines. But the next one should be good. Sorry.
So when did you get interested in astronomy? You're muted again. You're talking while mute.
Of course I am. Why wouldn't I do that? In high school, I would go into the library at lunch and play. Usually, I played role-playing games and stuff until the librarians would chase us out for making too much noise. But if I just wanted to relax and just spend a couple minutes in the cool air conditioning of the library, I would go to this area where they had these chairs around this table where the magazines were, and on there they had 2 magazines that I read cover to cover every single time they would come out. It was either Skin Diver, which is basically scuba diving, and the other one was it's either Sky and Telescope or Astronomy Magazine.
I remember all those actually. I worked in high school. I worked in what we call the Library Media Club. I was the president for 3 years.
Oh, that's a bust. That Target. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right. It might be like that could be my house. Like it's, right at my wall or something. So I think I need to go a little higher. The thing is, so everything on the east, of course, is going to be rising. So You can see the Milky Way is going along there. So some of these targets will be available later on. The Ring Nebula, we can go check out the Ring Nebula. Let me see what it would look like in my field of view. Again, that rectangle, see, it's pretty small though. But I might be able to zoom in a little bit. Let's just try it. Why not? Let's just go for it. Ring Nebula. One of my favorites.
Was it Larry Niven who wrote a novel about the Ring Nebula?
Ringworld. Ringworld. Or Integral Trees. Yeah. He did Ringworld, Integral Trees, Moten God's Eye.
Yeah.
Lucifer's Hammer.
Okay. Yeah. I'm remembering more of it more. Larry, I read a bunch of his stuff when I was maybe 12, I think. Yeah, 12 or 13. Yeah.
Or he
I'm
says
like
he
that
wants
with
popcorn.
authors. I'll streak through their works. I'll read something by an author and then want to read 7 or 8 of their books and then not go back to them for years. You know.
Mm-hmm. What I need to do, but this little computer, see that little line going along the bottom? It's either a star while I was slewing or it's a satellite went through the image.
Yeah.
One of the things I need to do is mount some sort of a webcam at the telescope. And that way I can see what it sees. Because the main issue that I have is I see, okay, there's the Ring Nebula. Okay, so you can see how the stars are all streaked.
Yeah.
That's because, and all these lines going across, that's because it was moving while it was exposing. So the next one will be good. And then I'll put on some light stacking and we'll get in deep on the Ring Nebula. And I'll talk about it. It's a planetary nebula, which means the center of it was a star that exploded.
Yeah.
And the star is still there. Like the remnants of the star are still there.
Yeah.
So we can look at that in a bit.
For the listeners who are, so a star or any collection of mass has a sort of what is it called? Gravitational binding energy. A certain due to how much mass you have of anything,
Mm-hmm.
you have a certain amount of what's called gravitational binding energy that unless you can exert enough force to accelerate past that, even if you explode, your mass will remain within that place. Now, for a human, it's nothing. We blow apart like nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
for a star, even when they explode, they have so much mass that they contain their explosion. I had a physicist professor of mine once describe the sun as a nuclear explosion that's taking 10 billion years to finish because the star's mass contains it. You know, so when we see cool stuff like this, you know, it's like it's the gravitational binding energy preserves something, even though the star blows up. Was it a nova or was it an actual supernova?
Supernovas are the ones that eat up the whole entire solar system.
And
A
then
nova just simply kind of goes bigger as it, like our star is going to go nova. Our star is going to go nova. It's not going to go supernova, which means it'll expand out to pretty much encompass Earth, Mars, Venus, all that.
Yeah.
And then I don't think it's going to reach Saturn, for example. And then it'll shrink back a little bit to its maybe a little bit smaller than it is now. Be a little bit brighter. Of course, it's going to change from a yellow dwarf to probably blue. But a super giant or supernova is just it takes up the whole solar. It just goes and
a supernova is when not so much explosion happens, a significant chunk of the mass departs the gravitational binding energy. Well, gravity well. Okay. But I'm asking though, for the Ring Nebula, was it a nova or a supernova that formed it though? I don't know.
You're going to ask me scientific questions. Okay, scientist man. Let me see if I can figure this out. No. I'm not. This is not. I'm not being mean. I just. If people ask me in chat, I can pretend I don't see it long enough to look it up and then answer like I know what I'm talking about. But when you're sitting there asking me in person, then I actually have to know what I'm talking about. All right, so Ring Nebula, Messier 57. You don't even want to see the Hubble. Well, I'll show you the Hubble. There's the Hubble photo.
I've seen that before.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. It's a remnants of a sun-like star. I'm gonna have to ask a different question here.
So if it's a sun-like star, it's got to be a nova. Our sun has nowhere near enough mass to ever go supernova. It's got to be close to oh god, no, I haven't remembered. I don't remember this stuff anymore.
See, their explanations that I'm finding are like aimed at 5-year-olds, and so they don't actually get into what kind of
Yeah.
a nova it was. Astronomers
Well, I
estimate
mean,
that the red giant star explosion that led to the formation of the Ring Nebula occurred between 6,000 and 8,000 years ago. It doesn't say.
no, but it has to be just a regular nova. It can't be a supernova because it's a sun-like star. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the star is actually still there too.
Yeah, that's because it's a nova.
Yeah.
Like if it's a supernova, it's just um, it just it does a Death Star effect where a chunk of its mass just flies out of the solar system. You know, if you want to,
let me bring up open image and new tab. Okay, oh, that's a very bad image. Hang on.
Actually, I was reading an article in was it Scientific American maybe 10 years ago about closely orbiting binary stars, where one is like
Yes.
a neutron star and the other is like a larger star, and how the neutron star would suck off a lot of mass of the larger star and have like a periodic nova that would just blow off of it every so often. You know, that was pretty fascinating.
So there you go. See the center star there you see on the Ring Nebula?
Yeah.
That was the star that did all of this. And there's, of course, a Hubble or something very close. It's been stretched in weird ways. You can see a little galaxy right there. See that
Yeah.
little spiral arm
Yeah.
galaxy?
Yeah.
So if we go back to my little rinky-dink image there, and let's see here, we kind of zoom in. Obviously, the resolution is not going to be the same, but when we get in there, I mean, I could do like a 5-minute image instead of a 30-second image and get more detail. But if you
Yeah.
look right in the center, you can actually see that center star there.
Yeah.
And if we go to stacked image, then we can do a little bit of maybe bring the brightness down a touch. Let's see. It does help a little bit. But what I can do is just to show, just like for some show and tell here, I can bring, oh, it's a 60-second image. Okay, so I can do like, let's do a 5-minute image just for giggles. And then we'll see what that looks like. And also, I'm not using the filter I should be using to do nebula. It happens to be a bright nebula, so it helps.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see there, it isn't too bad once you have it. You know, you're not increasing the background noise by zooming it in a lot. So that right there, just as a small little object, and you can see the problem that I hear somebody coming in. Salty
Hey.
Texas Sea in the house.
Oh, hey, Matt. Hey, what's going on, Mike?
It's just doing it here, having fun, getting everything going. As you saw earlier, fighting clouds have been going through, causing me all kinds of grief.
It's like your arch nemesis. I remember you talking a couple like 6 months ago about clouds and how you despise them.
Oh my god! And the moon, it's like I'm fighting the full moon tonight. I had the moon up earlier, but the full moon is a problem. Wind is a problem. Obviously, dew, like any kind of moisture, is a problem. Clouds and smoke. We seem to always have fires when I'm trying to do something, you know. But last couple of nights have been nice, very clear. So my telescope sits basically in my kitchen. It's a kitchen / family room. It's off to the side where my aquarium used to be. And it looks nice in that spot. You know, it's like a decorative thing. And my wife says, when are you going to set up your telescope? You never set up your telescope anymore. When are you going to do that? And so yesterday morning, that's it. Setting it up.
Good.
But the problem is that at the daytime, it's been hot. And so I have to have a special cover for it so that it doesn't go crazy. You said Lucifer's Hammer is amazing, so I didn't know you read that. Yeah, I
Oh God,
love Nevin,
yeah.
man. It's so
Dude,
amazing.
I've got the paperback. I have the audiobook. It is one of my favorite audiobooks to listen to, like if I'm driving, across the country, like
Yes.
thousands of miles. It's funny because there are so many elements that could be dated,
Hmm.
from what they talk about, but it is such an amazing story. And in a lot of ways, it was like that second generation of apocalyptic fiction because like they had some stuff. What is it? The Earth Remains or the Earth Abides from the 40s or 50s, and then there was another wave of the apocalyptic fiction in the 70s that is really overlooked. And then we've got what we've got now. But it's such a
Hmm.
great story, dude. It's
I
so cool.
love the way it starts, where it takes the point of view
Yes,
of the actual asteroid, and it's like it's
yes.
traveling through the solar system, and it banks around the sun, and it's heading on back out. It wants to go. It wants to leave the solar system, but damn it, the Earth is in the way.
It was this great characterization because I mean, like you said, like the beginning in the humanization isn't the right word, but putting it into context. That
Hmm.
this thing isn't intending to be evil; it's just caught in forces that it can't control, and
Exactly right. Yep.
and then the cool characters that are there. There's some really great, strong women characters in that book for the 70s. And hot.
Yep.
They're hot too.
Yep. Good. It's
Now
good
you guys,
stuff.
now you guys are making me want to go back and reread it.
Oh, dude, it's such a good
It's.
book, Matt. It's such a good book, man.
I
Mhm.
know it is. I'm just saying.
I would recommend also, if you haven't read these, you guys, is a short story by Larry Niven called "Inconstant Moon,"
Hmm.
and that's the one that's about a giant solar flare that
Oh,
cooks one side of the Earth.
oh, like a big CME on overdrive.
There's actually a story about it that was done in live action. I believe it was on, oh, what was it? Outer Limits, I think, did it, but I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But there was a short story derived from Inconstant Moon. Had the same characters and all that, so it was a Larry Niven story. But it's very very cool,
When do you
very
guys
very interesting. Go ahead.
when do you guys think we're going to get a CME of significance? Something on par
Yeah.
with the Carrington event. Because I've been wondering that. The 80s were such an active period for the sun. And I
Well, the
remember
sun has a cycle, right? So it's like
Mhm.
every 11 years it does something. Every 22 years the pole shifts. So it's usually when it's doing something, then it gets more active. As far as when it's going to happen again, you know
I
what?
know.
It's a roll of the dice,
I
and it
know.
could happen, and it could be the other side of the sun. It could
Yeah.
go a different way. But there
Yeah.
was like when the moon landing happened, they were finding rocks that were been melted on one side. So it's
Yeah.
happened a few times. All right, so that
Yeah.
was
Oh,
a let me see here,
okay, I got
single
a resource.
image.
Um, it's called spaceweather.com. I go there
Hmm.
every science channel. So I just
Oh,
looked
yeah.
today because I know we had a CME a couple weeks ago that affected some upper atmospheric radio stuff. So I looked today and there was a long duration solar flare in CME from sunspot AR 3032 that exploded on June 13th at 4:07 Universal Time.
Wow.
It produced an M3 class solar flare that lasted nearly 8 hours from beginning to end.
Wow.
NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory recorded the slow motion blast. There's a cool picture there. I don't know how I can. It's called spaceweather.com. It's pretty easy to get to.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. I go to that one,
Hmm.
and then there's like Aurora. There's some Aurora Watch or Aurora Net that I used to check out all the time
Yeah,
when I
Yeah,
lived up on the Canadian border. But dude, in
yeah.
the 80s, we had the most amazing auroras, and the sunspot activity was
it
crazy. Like,
was before I was into the hobby, so I didn't even pay attention to it all in the 80s. It's really unfortunate. It wasn't until my dad died that I got my first telescope. Up until then, I was basically just reading magazines from time to time.
yeah,
So that was back in, when was that? 2004,
yeah.
something like that.
My dad
2003.
was into amateur radio, so then I had to be into amateur radio and learn Morse code and get the
My grandpa
licenses
was
and
into
stuff.
all that stuff. Yeah.
And the sunspots used to just trip them out because and the difference between the frequencies and everything else like that, and the ionosphere and how it reacted with the bombardment of solar particles. which also charges the aurora. And so we had the most incredible auroras when I was in high school. Just
Mm.
I don't know if I'll ever see an entire sky of green flame
I'm
again like that
jealous.
in my life, man.
Very jealous. I've never seen one.
It was
Yeah.
incredible. And I've seen faint ones since then, but nothing like that. Nothing like it was like in 88, 87. It was crazy.
Before we
Well,
move
this-
on from this target real quick, I just wanted to go over it real quick again. So this is M57. It's called the Ring Nebula, and it is a planetary nebula, which means it was at one point a star that it went nova or supernova, and it blew off a bunch of its material into. It's actually not a ring. It's only a ring from our perspective. It's actually more of a sphere. It's just that we can see through easier on the ends that we're facing, because the outer area would have more material, so it looks thicker. But it's actually a sphere. It just tricks us into.
Why does
Go ahead.
that star stay semi? I don't want to use the word intact, but relative to why does the energy exerted outwards sort of stop at a certain point? Is it just that's how much
Gravity? It's
mass?
gravity. So
Okay.
So it loses its. Okay, so a star is the reason it makes it stable is its gravity versus the explosion
Mhm.
of the star. The star is always trying to explode. Gravity's keeping it
Mhm.
up. So when it runs out of fuel, what happens is it goes through a phase change. And when that phase change happens, it's kind of like a whiplash, and it goes boom, and then it goes big, and then
Okay.
gravity solidifies the star again, but it's already too late. It's already pushed all that stuff outside of its gravitational attractive area or whatever. It's gone too far away.
How does the heat, generated from a star compared with something that's gone nova? Is it an orders of magnitude lower, or is the heat?
It depends on the type of star.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like if it's a red giant, they're typically a cooler star than like ours is. Ours is a warmer star.
Mhm.
If
And
a
you
planet
gotta
with
remember,
life, go ahead.
You got to remember, heat from a physics point of view is a measure of molecular motion.
Right.
So something
Right.
could be a very low heat event, but still be very energetic. Like
Okay.
it's the heat will increase as either you'll detect a higher level of heat if something is near not near something that's as hot, because the heat will has more room to dissipate its entropy and all that sort of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So
Let me see if
it's
I
just
could
really-
find a different galaxy. Oh, we could try this one. Let's see how we're doing over here with if I could just put it like right in the center there, so I can try to get both of them. Control 1. You guys can't see what I'm talking about, but I'll see if I can bring it over.
My
I'm
high
gonna-
school had a planetarium. They did. They.
Oh, yeah, you told me
and-
that. That's so
and
cool.
The high school on the other side of town, I went to the West High School. They had the swimming pool. So the East High School had the swimming pool. We got the planetarium. And I remember as a kid in the 80s, this is before Hubble went up, and how excited the astronomy teacher was at what it was going to do. And, I mean, despite all of the challenges that have occurred with the mirrors not being aligned and everything, man, that thing has made some incredible pictures. It really has. And I know there's a better telescope that I think is going up that's even bigger than the
James
Hubble.
Webb.
Yeah, that's the one.
I
Yeah.
was talking about it here and on my science thing.
Yeah.
So they launched the James Webb, I think 8 months ago or so, and since it's been up there, they've had to go through stages of opening it up, calibrating everything, running checks and everything. And they're in the phase now where they're turning on all of the instruments and calibrating them and doing the final checks before it's officially considered live in, I think, 5 more months. So.
Now, the Hubble was an optical telescope, so it just visible light. I think the James Webb is an IR telescope.
There was a James Webb update I got yesterday. It took an impact from a significant micrometeorite.
I
So
saw
I was
that.
reading about that.
Yeah.
And they said they accounted for that when they made the structure, so that hits like that won't reduce its efficacy, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if on a future repair mission they have factored in they could replace that little mirror that was damaged.
What's the energy system, or the what's powering this? Is it solar, nuclear, or just solar? What is it?
I think it's
believe
just solar, but
yeah.
Okay.
there's no nuclear. They use heat resulting from nuclear reactions. We have none of that on any current satellites that we're
Yet.
launching.
Well, that we know about. That we know about. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Well, no, you'd be able to detect them with private, like not technically. Mike could set up an advanced scanner that would scan the skies for nuclear reactions. Are very.
I think they could shield all that stuff though.
Yeah, I just asked that question because of what the Winnie the Pooh land has been doing, and some of the launches I used to see over the Pacific. That their rockets they burn some of the
it's
ugliest
infrared
trails I've ever seen. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see because infrared is a much nicer wavelength of light for seeing through things. So if there's any kind of debris in the way, like dust clouds and nebulas and stuff, and you want to see what's on the other side of it, the IR from James Webb is going to be amazing to see. I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I'm surprised it made it. For the last, I don't know, it's been always like a year away from going up for like the last 20 years. I always had my doubts. I assumed it was going to blow up on launch, break, fall over, something's going to badly happen. I never thought I was going to make it, and I've been proven wrong. So I just want to see good images. I'm excited to see it.
And this is stupidity by people in power, because like all that money we spent on space, the space race and weapons development in like the 50s and 60s, which like then would have been like $10 billion, or would have been today's dollars like $1 trillion. That's proven dramatic like benefits to our private sector stuff. These computers we're using, all that sort of stuff. And the fact that they're not launching more of these space development missions and whatever, it's impeding our future growth in general, not just not having the telescope or whatever up there, but not developing that technology to explore space and science, or not building particle accelerators like we should be and all that sort of stuff, is impeding our regular technology like this from growing.
That's not an accident. Having been someone who worked in the defense industry, and that's all I'll say, there's no interest in the good of humanity. There's interest in how much money can we take for something that will never work. And for example, the littoral ship system, which I may or may not have been involved in for the United States Navy. They're now retiring it, and it never worked. But boy, they pissed away a lot of billions of dollars on that thing and jacked up a lot of contractor stocks from it.
Yep. I can tell. I had some work myself. I did on what the hell was it? Myron got the job for me. I earned like $30,000 for it. This is back in the 90s when electrical engineers and physicists had no idea how to use computers. So people who either were computer engineers or knew how to use them, we would program stuff for them and run simulations. And after Myron said he had done some work for him, he was one of the fraternity brothers, and he said he got one of his another graduate student who was working for a defense project, and the project he was working on something to do with a ship-based like a radar adjustment. I don't remember the exact details, to be honest. All I was doing was simulating stuff.
Was it surface warfare or undersea warfare? Was it?
They wanted to enhance. Well, this particular software adjustment was designed to enhance the ability to detect smaller, high-speed objects, like going towards the ship or something like that. I only knew about the computer parts of it. I didn't really care about the rest of the time.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So, I remember. I remember afterwards, like a few months later, and Myron's like, "Well, the job's over because they canceled the project, even though they dumped like $500 million into it." It's all like, geez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys can see all the dust motes in this image here, but we do have the cigar galaxy on the right. That's actually not too bad.
That's awesome, dude. That's from your kitchen. You're getting that from your kitchen. That's incredible.
Well, no. The telescope's outside. I'm saying I normally have it set up inside the house, just sitting there. It's like all looking pretty. But yeah, no. This is what's called the cigar galaxy. It's M82. This one over here is M81, Messier 81. You can kind of see the arms. See how it comes out like this? There's one arm there.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do some stack on this. I have an Another one coming, and it'll clean it up as it goes. But you can see the dust motes, these black circles everywhere. That's specks of dust on the filter.
I think they're UFOs, dude.
Okay.
That sounds cooler.
Do, 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 do.
Well, they do have every so often find something up there that looks like it has to be artificial, and then they debate over no, it's got to be some natural. We can't explain it type of thing, you know. So,
Well, there's a lot of interesting things just floating around at high rates of speed around the ISS, and I'm like, what is that? You know,
Gentlemen, if you can entertain yourselves for a bit, I have to go reheat my coffee. It's gotten cold here on the table.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
So, yeah.
You guys be in charge of the astronomy.
Yeah, man.
I was talking about what the heck was it? It was a megastructure.
Yeah.
Not that it's a megastructure, but some scientists were saying it has to be a megastructure because nature can't make something like that, you know. So, and they always try to say, which I guess makes sense. You got to, I mean, if you're going to make a great claim, you got to have a lot of evidence and to back it up. You know what I mean? Otherwise, all those loonies who say we never went to the moon or whatever, you know, they say, well, that picture might have a dust mote in it, so it must have been taken on the Earth. You know, that type of logic.
We're finding a lot of very interesting things in the Amazon. And it is an unfortunate consequence of the stupidity of tearing it down to plant soybeans, which is a really idiotic idea because rainforest soil is poor. Now, there is a way to improve the rainforest soil, you know, using terra preta, which is a whole other story. But they're finding so many more megastructures in the Amazon rainforest that are remarkable solar observatories, again with the true north and south orientation. I mean, again with, you know, perfect right angles and unexplainable. And I don't care what you say about rolling 100-ton monoliths on logs. To me, it's not something you can do unless you have a lot of free time and a lot of food just falling out of the sky.
Back, I made it. All right.
Well, and of course, a lot of unfairly exploited human labor, to use the polite way to say it.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that. I really do. But at the same point, unskilled slave labor does not produce craftsmanship like outcomes. It never does. It never will.
Gentlemen and fellow nerds, look what I've been starting to collect now. This is red Sonja in a, what do you call this stuff?
Is it a
Chainmail? Satin?
No. I'm thinking about the time period. What is steampunk? Steampunk red Sonja. She has
That's
guns,
awesome. Yeah, she
and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that Sonya with a J or Sonya with an I? I can't see.
J.
Okay, so people who don't know, Red Sonja with a J is Roy Thomas's creation, right?
Yeah, right.
Which is an amazing character. I'm just so people know the difference between.
Well, he stole it from other Robert E. Howard works. She was actually from, she was a Arabian.
She was a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Red Sonja was a pirate, and she was in, I think, one or two stories that Howard wrote.
Her sister was a part of a harem.
Yeah, yep. And then Roy Thomas took it and ran with it, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
an amazing character. I love Red Sonja.
This past weekend, about 2 hours away from me, was the Ronald E. Howard Days, because he's from here in Texas. There's a small town that had it, and I didn't go because I had my dog and because I'm going to Dallas. And but T-shirted a story in it, and I wish I would have went, but I don't have unlimited time and unlimited money, unfortunately.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Let me zoom this back out a little bit and do a shrink to fit there. And we'll do. I wish it was auto on all this other stuff as well.
You know what I've always found fascinating was the Pleiades, and maybe it goes back to again the what's it called? The in my high school, the astronomy thing, the whatever it's called.
It's a really amazing thing, isn't it?
Well, I mean, the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters and all that, and it's also remarkable just how much attention a lot of ancient civilizations really paid to some particular constellations, like Taurus and Pleiades and other areas of the sky, and they completely ignored other ones.
So if contingent upon having better skies and being able to do a more thorough job here, this is what. Let me see if I can make this big again. And then, so this is what we would see. So we have over here the Bode's galaxy. This is M81. And you can see the spiral arms coming out. And then over here you have the Cigar Galaxy. It's got a little, but you need filters to see most of this stuff. This is all nebula coming off this galaxy. And this is the galaxy goes this way, up and down this way. And then there's some stuff coming out. I'm parked right here in the middle so I can get kind of both of it. So then when we go back over here and we, do kind of like that back and forth, you can see this is M81. You can see the arms coming up. And this is the Cigar Galaxy. You can't quite see the little red stuff coming off. But again, that's wrong filter for this kind of a star. And then just bad skies at this point. So when I stretch it, you see all the stuff. I was thinking earlier when I walked out there a second ago with my coffee, if I had one of those long poles with a saw on it, I can cut one of the leaves down from my palm tree. I would do it. I was like right in the way. I went down, I looked up my telescope. I said, that's pointing right out of a leaf, right out of a palm frond that's hanging down. So that's normal for me. It's the way things go. What can I do?
I have a total normie question. So I look at these galaxies, and of course, I'm imagining them in 2 dimensions, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And some of these galaxies seem to be more of a saucer shape or a spread out disk, like an old record. Right. And then some, from another perspective, seem to be looking at the record as if I was looking on the edge, not at the side A or side B.
Right.
What causes that? I mean, is it an optical illusion, or is there a reason why some look like a disc, on its flat side, and some look like a record on edge?
They are literally tilted in whatever random way.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is exactly what you just said about like the frisbee shape.
Okay.
Some galaxies you're looking at it literally like top down. Some you're looking right on the edge. Let me show you one of my favorite ones, just to give you an example here. Let's see.
Let me just add something there to the effect he was talking about. So the human brain imports its sensory data, particularly visual, but all of it, by using pattern recognition. If you can't impose a pattern on what you're perceiving, you can't perceive it. Okay. So that's the underlying. What's that old parable with the blind guys looking at the elephant and one feels the tusk and one feels the tail and all that?
Yeah, based on what they're able to grasp. Yep.
Yeah, it's an interesting sort of effect. There's an effect that's actually in art, which relates to science, where has to do with how far away things are versus how far you think they are based on the fade off of the visual distance. I can't remember the name of it, but it's actually scientifically measurable, and artists use it all the time. Like when you're looking at the moon, and you might say, well, the moon doesn't look that like. I can't give you the exact terms. I'm not going to kill the stream with it, but it's an interesting mental effect that people have to be aware of when you're doing science or anything. Like, what is your brain perceiving versus what's really there by looking at the data?
Let me direct your attention to the Sombrero Galaxy. It's almost an edge on. You can see the galactic core.
Yeah.
And then you can see the light being blocked by quite a bit of the dust and debris. And this is an actual image. This was taken probably by an amateur, although it could have been taken by, somebody who knows what they're doing. But you could tell it's not, for example, a Hubble. But this is a legit galaxy, and you can see all the little stuff going on here, all the stars and all the stuff. But it's all a bunch of dust debris that's blocking part of the light that gives it that effect of like a sombrero hat. It's one of my favorite galaxy.
Does it flatten out like that because that is the apex of where the gravity is on the star? Is that why it compresses?
It's the same. Well, it's the same thing like this our solar system, and then it's basically flat. All the planets and everything are all lined up
Yeah.
because it was spiraling. So most of these galaxies have the same kind of thing. When they were formed, when they coalesced into basically like a whirlpool shape. They just kind of went like this
Okay.
and flattened out.
Yeah.
And but there are
But-
galaxies that are actually round. Like there are round galaxies that have not gone either. They never formed correctly, or it's too early, or it's at the end of their lifestyle. But
See, that's fascinating because I always wondered that, why planets, I mean, relative to the position of, say, our planet, why something was going at a 45-degree angle off
Mhm.
track of where we were. So,
well, it's like which of the planets is it? I think it's Neptune that actually goes backwards. And then there's like maybe Uranus that actually is tilted a little bit weird. And then every other planet is all spins the same way and is all pretty much on the same.
Yeah, it's all left over from the primordial momentum, so to speak.
oh,
And-
okay.
So, with two-part thing to say here. So on the shape of the galaxy, and important to remember, we were just talking about this. That's looking at it with optical light, so to speak, visible light. If
Mhm.
you were to look at that galaxy with, say, the James Webb with infrared, it would look somewhat different. If you were to
Okay.
look at it in, say, ultraviolet spectrum, it would look a little different. And if somehow you could perceive the stuff we know is there by gravitational measurements, what they currently call dark matter, and
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
there's a halo of that around it that's also floating about around it and swirling around that central black hole.
I'm gonna blow your mind in a second by going to the next one.
Yeah.
The Whirlpool Galaxy. It's an amazing one to see. But we're almost done with this one here, so we'll check it out. Let's also keep in mind that we're trying to keep it all this whole conversation more on the light side of things. We don't need to
Yeah.
get too far into the weeds on all the specifics. To be honest, we gotta.
The dark matter stuff is crazy, and I'm not going to pretend to know anything about it, but I think it's
Yeah,
fascinating.
I do as well.
Well, I mean, you can it's there because you can measure the effect in gravity. Like, in other words, if
Yeah.
there is X amount of gravity, there has to be a corresponding amount of mass and energy. But we can only detect through, say, optical telescopes, infrared, a certain amount of that mass. So where's the rest of it? That's what the term dark matter relates to. It's not special and ambiguous. It's not like in science
Yeah.
fiction with a hunch of strange material floating through space. It's just something we can't detect with our current methods.
It'll be interesting if we can ever get to almost light speed, the impact that the theoretical versus the actual effects of drag has such passing through that.
I don't think we'll ever get that. Look at that! Look at that! That pisses me off. It's the same thing as before. All right, we're gonna go to the whirlpool. Let me stop this whole charade. God damn it!
You
Like
have the
it-
cloud going across there.
Mike gets just as upset at this telescope as he does at Rafe Judkins. It's true.
The weather. It's like, come on, please,
Maybe,
please.
maybe Rafe Judkins was reading the Wheel of Time through a cloud, and that's why he did what he did.
Is that what we're going to call it? Is that what we're going to call
I think
low
his
IQ?
I think his brain is a cloud.
Yeah.
Maybe
don't
there's
we
a
think-
chunk of dark matter in his brain warping his
Yeah.
perceptions.
It's chunks of something. Yeah, no, I mean, my video is still uploading, my 45-minute HD one. I'm hoping it's finally, oh Christ, it finished, thank God. All right, I'll be here. I'm just going to be quiet.
Okay. All right, we have 5 minutes before something shows up, guys. So before it blinds everybody, let me just close it out so that we don't have
Instant blindness.
all that screen real estate blinding everybody with the white, especially this late at night. Here, I can bring that back, and then hold on, let me bring this back up, and then I'll put this on top of it. There we go. I'll just put that on top. So when that comes up, we'll be ready. So yeah, this is going to be an easy one. I'm looking forward. Hopefully, it actually shows up and it's not blocked, but it's a little bit higher in the sky, so it should be fine. This life I lead, it's like I have a coffee here, and then I have my my drink here with ice. So the ice melts and it gets warm on this one. This one, it gets cold. So I'm constantly going, this is too cold. I have to go reheat it. And this one needs to be dumped out. I need more ice. You know what it is? Is
Wow.
because we're using an ice maker that's like one of those ones you buy at on Amazon, like the little box that just
Mhm.
makes ice. So that's what we use, because it makes a soft ice that my wife likes to chew on. But it doesn't. It's because it's so soft, it melts really, really fast. So.
Oh yeah. Well, it'll make good margaritas, but that's about it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were still quiet. Sorry.
Sorry,
I didn't know
man.
you were there.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know you were there.
No, I'm putting off trying to name my video because I can't come up with a catchy name. So I'd rather just jump in and make a name.
Is it the? I don't want to give anything away live, but is it related to?
Yes. Rings of
something?
Power. Yeah.
Okay.
Rings of Power. Yeah.
I was gonna say I got someone a USB powered coffee warmer a couple years ago.
Oh, I got one of those, but mine plugs into the wall. Yeah. It's not.
She literally squeed, like that sound they make in anime when they get like that favorite thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I had a whole bunch of people visiting me on my broke astronomer channel, but they have left, so they're no longer here. Because I'm doing a simulcast stream. I'll leave it there. Okay.
Well, I deal with a long stream like this. You get people popping in and out, checking stuff out.
At some point here in another hour, I'll get a lot of people from Costa Rica checking in. I'll get some people from Qatar. They like to come on and hang out for a bit.
Yeah, 2:30, sometime between 2 and 3 is probably gonna have to check out because I got 3 afternoon meetings tomorrow for work.
Yeah, dude. Whenever you gotta go, I'm gonna be doing this solo, so it's perfectly fine. I'm just it's 10:30 here, so I have another hour and a half I can put in without. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. No spoilers. I don't want to spoil that picture yet.
There's a croc side.
I think we're getting close though. Got about another minute.
News.
Actually, you know what I can do, Matt? Since I got it working now, I can go ahead and go back to dark. There.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That'll work out better.
News. Here's some. I saw this. It's going to be in my science video. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I want to do it this weekend, but it's just time. They found a wandering black hole, for the first time.
I heard that. Yeah.
And I got to read more about it. But that was pretty cool. And I also read something cool. We're still getting communication from Voyager 1. They got some interesting. So they said they got some interesting data back from it. I haven't released what it is yet. That may be an object that came by out there.
That's fascinating. I remember.
You don't want any wandering black holes coming through our solar system, please. I don't need it to rip our planets apart.
We've had a heck of a lot of really sizable meteors go by at interesting distances. Just say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating.
It happens all the time. We're just getting to the point where we can actually see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of bad because it's good because if one's actually going to hit us, we have enough time to, I don't know, have that last drink.
Yeah, pray, make a lot of whoopee and drink. Yeah.
You mentioned a passing black hole. There were 2 science fiction movies. One is a Toho one where a black hole.
There we are.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Wow.
Let me increase the brightness a little bit here.
That's cool.
Come on, brightness. Let's go. Okay. So what do we got here? This is M51. This is the Whirlpool Galaxy. This is the main one here, which of course they're both top down. You can see the arms coming out. And this is another galaxy that it's actually like a vampire. It's absorbing this other galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking all the material from Galaxy B and putting it into Galaxy A. And so they are obviously gravitationally locked or attracted to each other. They will eventually become one single galaxy.
Yeah. Now, interesting what happens to the black holes at the center. Do they eventually come together completely? You know?
Yep. And one of the interesting things about that is when the galaxies do come together, it looks to us like they're two big objects that can collide. And the simple fact of the matter is the stars are so far apart, they will probably never even notice. It's like us and Andromeda Galaxy. We are gravitationally locked together or tied together. Yeah. We will eventually merge into a single galaxy. But other than the night sky being different, if you could snap your fingers and travel forward in time that many billion years, your sky would look a little different, but it's not going to affect anything.
I mean, not in our lifetime, but unless you're on the direct path of that little black hole to the big one, because that's where it's going.
True.
Yeah. But I was reading something. I don't remember all the details on this, but they had detected signs that the Milky Way had absorbed another galaxy like that a couple billion years ago. And so here's a science fiction-y thing tie-in for you. Do you remember in Star Trek the energy wave at the edge of the galaxy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That they encountered that turned Kirk's friend into that super alien or whatever. In the novels, they explain that as a galaxy being absorbed. That was pretty cool, I thought. Like when they first heard about that, we got to explain that. So they pulled that. They decided to go with that. That was a resulting energy wave from some sort of collision that occurred from the Milky Way absorbing another galaxy. Yeah.
Is there a way to make Chrome dark mode?
You can go into your settings and you can change your theme, and so you get rid of the white tabs. You can. Yep. That's a beautiful image, Mike. Damn.
Yeah.
It's a very bright galaxy, easy to see. Yeah, I don't see it. I didn't want to blind everybody, so everybody, kind of close your eyes a little bit. But this is I think the Matt was just talking about, where evidence of broadside collision with dwarf galaxy discovered.
Wow.
So that's not a picture. That's a representative of what happened. But yeah. So we have shell structures are formed when one galaxy collides head on with another. Computer models can predict all that kind of stuff, and if this happens, this is what it would look like. So yeah. And then there was an article about. Excuse me, I apologize. There was an article about the Andromeda and Milky Way. They've already basically started. Oh, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but so the Andromeda Galaxy, there it is in the sky. If you were in a dark enough place, it would be that big in the sky.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's actually really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually very, very big. The problem is that even because it's so far away, even that big, it's very faint. It's a smudge. Like you look up and it's like someone just took and just smudged the window. That's all it looks like. You need to develop it with a longer exposure to get the color and all that. It's like this one. This is a 5-minute exposure. I would normally do about 10 minutes on one of my good cameras out in the dark sky site. Oh, you weren't around here yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Right here. I'll show you a quick tour of my observatory.
Oh.
So let me start at where I actually walked back out and then back in again. So it's just that it's a 10 by 10, 10 by 12 with a roof that rolls off. It's on rollers. And
pretty cool. What do you lease it or something?
Basically, yeah. I had to pay for it and then lease it. It's like you donate to the club for the permission to have one. A little cot that I set up, or actually it's an inflatable mattress with bug netting over on the right there. You see, I haven't been there in like 6 months when I took this video, so the dirt it's just so dirty. I have to go in there and vacuum everything up. A little computer over there with a red screen to protect my eyes, and there's my little computer down there that the light stays on when it's plugged in. It's not powered up; it's just plugged in. A little mini fridge, and there's the example of the dust. It just is on there. I was showing my cell phone booster, so I can use my cell phone to network, do internet, and then the garage door opener that rolls the roof off, and then eventually I take my sleeping bag that I threw up over the telescope. I'll take that off here in a second, and I'll show you the telescope that I have set up out there.
This is really cool, man.
Going through my refrigerator that I needed to throw all that stuff away. There we go. I think I'm taking it off right there. Yep, there we go. So we're getting close. There it is. There's the telescope there. See all the dust on the camera and all that? It's just so filthy.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Now, if I had that telescope out here right now, some of those smaller objects, I'd be able to see them. They'd fill out more of the frame. It's just it's a much longer focal length camera and lens.
And I know the roof is closed, but can you remote into that camera from where you are?
I have to set up internet. So the only internet I have right now is when I'm out there physically, and I use my phone as a hotspot.
Oh, okay.
It is on my to-do list. It will be something I do at some point. All right, let's see what we got here as far as live stacks. Oh, I have to clear all these out.
Whoa. Is that a cloud or?
That was some earlier. Yeah, it was some earlier.
Okay.
Yep, so that's M51, and I'll go hunting for something else. Let's see, while that's working.
So while he's doing that, if people wonder why when you see the center of a galaxy, it's so bright, and when it's facing you, it looks even brighter, it's because there's a black hole there, and when stuff passes through the event horizon, there's a reaction that shoots a lot of subatomic particles off pretty much straight up. And
wow,
if that were to actually hit us within the first billion or so years of it out, it would scour the earth like a sandblast. You know,
yeah.
So there's and it looks not as bright from the sides because the energy does inverse square law. It does spread out over space as it travels. You know, there's an article I read in Scientific American maybe 15 years ago or 8 years ago, somewhere in that range, because I stopped reading when they went woke. They about what's called the Death Star galaxy that was so close to a couple other galaxies that beam of particles and coming out from the black hole was scouring stuff in the other galaxy.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
Wow.
But it's fascinating. Like there's so much stuff that with like we're living right now in relatively calm times when it comes to anything, whether it's volcanoes or tsunamis or extra solar events like really big CMEs hitting the Earth or whatever, any of that sort of stuff. Like we're in a relatively calm time. Like the Tuscan, there's what's it called, meteor crater, right? Out by Tuscan in Arizona. Had that thing hit during, say, I don't know, say 1980 or whatever, it would have killed like 100 million people. Or what people call what's called the Tunguska event in Russia, that comet that exploded in the middle of Siberia in like 1910. Had that happened to Moscow would be a crater. There's so much stuff that like nature could just wipe you out in a second, and we just happen to be living the good times as it were and not getting it.
There's one we got to look out for. Well, actually, it's not as bad anymore. They've already looked and they decided there's no stars close enough. I'm trying to think of what it's called, like what the radiation is called. There's a certain word for it, but it's basically when a certain kind of a star, it has its poles, and then it when it goes through some kind of a cataclysm, it shoots these beams out at the speed of light.
Oh, I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but I don't know
I
what the
can't
hell
think
that
of what it's
is.
called. It's
Because it makes
in.
like
I have it
makes like an
filed
X-ray
away.
laser, basically.
Something
That's
like
not the
that.
term you're
Yes,
looking for,
and it
but
has wiped.
that's
We believe
yeah.
it's wiped us out before.
Yeah,
That's
Wiped
a
everything
small
off.
scale event of what happens with the center of galaxies.
yeah, yeah.
Rapidly spinning neutron stars can form that X-ray laser effect. I know that.
I'm just trying to think of what it's called. Maybe somebody in chat, if anyone's out there that knows
Ionizing
it.
radiation.
No, there's a certain word. I used to know it. When you said CME earlier, coronal mass ejection, it threw me off. It
Sorry.
made me. It deleted it from my mind. I can't get it now.
I did a Control-Alt-Delete.
Don't work as efficiently as they used to.
Yeah, I did a
My brain is like
Control-Alt-Delete.
literally like synapses have like people there that are like under construction, or maybe they're tearing some shit down. I don't know. It's like I have mad cow or something.
We've streamed enough where that's the same thing with me, dude. Where I'm like, what's that word, dude? I forgot what that word is. Yeah.
You remember Shoemaker Levy 9, the impacts on Jupiter?
Yes.
So I was with a bunch of people, like lay people, I would say, not people scientific oriented, and those are cool explosions. And I'm like, well, I'm like, dude, the smallest of the explosions is bigger than the planet Earth. That blew their mind. They had total cognitive dissonance. They couldn't comprehend that there could be an explosion bigger than the Earth.
Gamma ray burst.
Gamma ray burst.
I had to look it up. Yeah. So there are stars that are pointed at us, but the math suggests that they are far enough away that the gamma ray burst would not kill us.
Well,
barely though.
The event between the younger 12,000 years ago, the elder Dryas and the younger Dryas time period, when we know something happened on the surface of the Earth that, at least in the northern hemisphere, pretty much wiped out a lot of life, right? They think it was probably volcanic at this point, but there's some other scientists hypothesizing that it was some sort of burst like that based on what they claim or detect. They got to have a high standard for proof. I talked about that before. So I'm just saying what the scientists were saying, that there's evidence that it could have been some sort of extrasolar burst, either a CME or an X-ray laser or gamma ray burst of some sort. But the predominant evidence seems to indicate that it was either an asteroid or comet impact or a volcanic event that caused it. But they did, that sort of even when you the biggest mass extinction we have the most proof for in history with the dinosaurs, that time period, there are still people who fight tooth and nail to say, oh no, it couldn't have been a comet, had to be a volcano. Had to be this, had to be that.
You guys didn't want to sleep well tonight, did you? Check this out. It's going to destroy the significant portion of our atmosphere, specifically the ozone layer. Absolutely. This is one that's further away. It's not going to cook us. So basically, you don't want it pointed at us. And there are some stars out there that are pointed at us, we believe, but they're still far enough away. We can.
Well, you want to sleep
be okay,
even worse? Guys. There's stuff like that hitting us all the time. Not that extreme, but hitting us all the time. And the Earth's magnetosphere is what deals with most of that energy.
Yep.
Well, it's like the pro way to shelter yourself in space is water.
Yeah.
Things like that will hit water and
disperse.
Be okay. You'll be okay. Disperse, yeah. So if you're going to go a long voyage in space, you basically want the outer shell of your spaceship to be just hollowed out and full of drinking water or shower water.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily. Yep. All the sewage treatment and all that, put it on the outside.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what we could do on the Eagle Nebula. That should be fun if I can actually get anything to cooperate here.
I have to go to bed, guys. It's not because you're not entertaining, but because I have to be responsible. This has been a blast.
Well, thank you very much for coming in, sir.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Thanks for answering my questions, you guys. And this is really fascinating, cool stuff. And I look forward to joining your streams again. You guys have a great night.
Absolutely. So I threw one at Matt. He'd happened to text me or he happened to DM me right before I started. I said, if you want to come on and hang out, that way I'm not by myself. So
anytime. This was awesome. Mike, Matt, have a good night. I'll see you gentlemen
buddy.
later.
Have a good one. Maybe we'll talk tomorrow, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Please. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Cool. All right. See you. Good night. Oh, it was nice of him to stop in.
Oh yeah, it's always great to talk about cool stuff. For people listening, the most famous nebula science fiction fans probably know of is the Mutara Nebula from Star Trek 2. So
I'm going to start this one over now. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop this down on time here. Let me do a 2-minute instead. There we go. We'll do a 2-minute. Oh, yeah. You see how, okay, so you see how the stars, this is not going to be a good one. You see how they have little diffraction spikes? That means it's aimed through a tree. So yeah, that was a bad one to look at. Okay, so the Eagle Nebula is out for right now. It's too low.
I think nebulas are one of the prettiest things you'll ever see in space, like in astronomy.
I need to put on a different filter and then refocus, and then I can do nebulas. But right now, the problem is there's not a whole lot of nebulas that are tall enough. Like all of these down, like this is the Milky Way. You're going to find a lot of nebulas in here. And then there is like the North American Nebula, things of that nature, but they're so low in the horizon right now because of the time of year. That's why I was saying it's mostly galaxy season. Like all the galaxies are up, like the Pinwheel, like we looked at a little bit ago, it's up here. Bode's Galaxy we looked at a little bit ago is over here. There's a lot of galaxies up. And if we go over to the west side, it's actually the north, usually right around. Yeah, okay, so this is north. We have a lot of globular clusters, but I did that before you showed up, I think. We could go back real quick.
Globular clusters right as I got on.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So what I can use is Telescopius. See if I can go over there real quick. And that typically helps. It gives you, let me bring it up here, show everybody. So Telescopius, you could actually come through here and see what's going on. So for example, the Pelican Nebula is up here and it shows you the elevation. So basically it has to be above 40 degrees. So right here, I put my mouse over this position on this is it rising, this is it setting. So if I go 40 degrees, that should clear everything that I have. And that isn't until 11:47 local time, which is an hour away. So I can't even think about that one for right now.
Yeah.
And then we have, let's see. This one's too small. I see 1470. It's too small. So then we go Dark Nebula. Dark Nebulas I can't really look at without a special filter, which is going to be a pain to do. We got some diffuse nebulas here. So we have, for example, the Cocoon Nebula. Same thing. I come over here. I look at 40 degrees. That is 12:45 a.m. Again, too late for tonight. The Elephant Trunk Nebula. Again, if I go to 48 or 40 degrees, right about there. 12:30 a.m. I'm going to be in bed by then. So then we're going to galaxies, and you can see now we have more to choose from. So the Black Eye Galaxy, for example, it's setting. So if I do, let's see, 40 degrees ish, 11:52 again. That's an hour from now. Fireworks Galaxy. Let's see, that is again like 11:30. So you see what I'm saying? That it gets difficult. It gets really difficult. Galaxy clusters, where you can get more than one galaxy in a shot. Yeah, no hope at all. It's 3 o'clock in the morning for that one. We have Galaxy Cluster able whatever 12:28. If I come down here to 40, that's about right now actually.
Cool.
I could try to do that one. So that's able. That's a really small image. So I don't know. Yeah, there's gonna be a whole bunch of galaxies in that picture. I guess we could try it. So let me see if I can search for it up on here.
Okay. I gotta escape for 5 minutes because I gotta
go for it, man. Go for it, man. Yeah, close your camera, mute and close cameras and all that stuff while you're doing that. All right, cool. All right, able 12:28. See if I can find it. Okay. West, and it's kind of low. There's a whole bunch of galaxies right there. So let me go maybe to that star right there. It's kind of close. Control 1. We'll go over there, and I'll do an exposure, and we'll just see what it looks like. Actually, yeah. Here, let me stop the camera. In fact, since I'm just doing one shots right now, I think what I'm going to do is go back over to Nina for real quick. Because live stacking some of these things is not really going to do anything. So let me pull up my Astro imaging software, and we'll just do that instead. Because it does a really good histogram stretch. So, all right, we're going to connect the camera. We'll turn the cooler on. Actually, let's go down to maybe -5. I'll turn the cooler on. I don't need really anything else. So we're going to go to imaging. And then I'll do a quick 60-second to see if I can see anything. We're there. All right, let's do a quick 60-second. We'll look at the image. We'll see it pops up in 60 seconds. And this will be a cluster of galaxies, apparently. There's IC 2751, IC 2744, IC 2736, I think. It's got a star right on there. I can't see it. And IC 2735. Yeah, so it must be 36. Oh, there goes the satellite. What is it? Which one is it? Himomandad? Got me. It's a NORAD one. Okay. All right. Check chat. See if anybody's in there saying anything. Nope. Okay. Turn the captions off real quick. Yeah, no, that's not a good one to do. Okay. Let me go back to let's go back to Telescopius and see what else. It's too low. Yeah, I should have known. Globular clusters, of course, we have all of those. Open clusters, kind of boring. Planetary nebulas. What do we have here? Is that the snowball? 12:45 a.m. This one's really low. I'll never be able to see that one. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I'm gonna close that one out. It's just you could see that it's got some lots going on there with bad stuff happening. So it's gonna browse real quick. I think I could probably call it a night here pretty quickly. M96, that's the black eye, isn't it? M96 or M101? M96. What's M96? That's a cool one. What do we have here? How high is this one up? Might be okay. It's a Leo Triplet. Guess I could try the Leo Triplet. I don't think it'll work, but okay. We'll do an image real quick. Quick 60 seconds to see if we can see anything.
Oh, like the inevitable tide, I've returned.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm caught up on Twitter. Okay, so it's not going to be a good one even at 60 seconds. Okay. So that's a bust on that one. I'm looking at for targets right now. The Hamburg. There's the Leo Triplet. Yeah, we could try that. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, let's go there. Let's try that one. That's the Leo Triplet. I was wrong earlier. And actually, the Hamburger Galaxy is phenomenal. I gotta have dark skies though. Here, let's go to maybe that one. Let's go over there. Oh wait, it's in the center.
Well,
Right,
it's
let it
named after
settle.
a hamburger, which is one of the best things there is.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. Gosh, I'm hungry. I didn't get dinner because I was doing streaming and stuff earlier. I'll do a 90-second. I did
Yeah, I'm
episode
having,
1 of my Asian stuff today. I did
that was pretty good. The vampire, you did Vampire Hunter.
yeah,
D.
Vampire
Complex.
Hunter. Oh yeah, you were there. You saw what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I gotta get back into. I don't know why I never went back to the novels. I read the first two when I was, I don't know, maybe in my 20s or whatever. But I'd seen Vampire Hunter D when I was younger, obviously.
the main issue for me is that I don't have time to read as much as I used to because I feel like there's things I need. Okay, well, here's how this works. If I'm sitting down in a chair and I open up a book and I start to read the book or Kindle, whatever it is, I start to look around and I realize I need to dust, I need to clean things up, I need to clean the garage, I need to fix the sprinklers.
Mhm.
You know, it's all these things that it's like I don't have the right to sit here and read. I need to get up and go do something.
Well,
So
you gotta make
if
some
I'm
you time, though. You know.
yeah, but if I'm doing like this, like I feel like I'm doing something constructive. You know,
Mm.
it's like okay, I'm this is what I'm doing right now. If I'm making a trailer for one of my streams or something, then okay, I got some notifications. Okay. Sometimes I'll do a tweet and I'll respond to somebody's tweet with like something, and then I'll get tons of, this person liked your tweet.
Yeah.
What is that thing that says like who followed you or who?
That'll be in your notifications. And if you go to
No,
your profile,
there's a website that says like who's like it shows you who left, who came, all that kind of stuff. Oh, let's look at
I mean, I
this.
know if you go to your profile, you can click on who your followers are and who you're following.
Okay, this one might be worth doing.
Okay.
All right, so let me do a longer exposure for this one. So let me go imaging, and let's do like 300 seconds. Actually, hang on. I'm going to stop. I'm going to do more on the gain, I think. Nope, that's wrong. Gain needs to be 1. Offset needs to be... No, it's a different camera, though. God dang it. I don't know what my gain's supposed to be on this camera.
Yeah.
Let me just do 50 and see what happens.
Little Chibi Cthulhu is looking for some stars that are just right for him.
Twitter. Let me switch places so people know that I'm actually the one that's hosting. All right. Ryan Kinnell has a picture with Carino.
Who?
From The Mandalorian, who got fired.
Gina Carano. Yeah.
Carano. Carino. I said Carino.
Yeah, she's become friends with all of them since I started with. Apparently, I started with Drunk 3PO.
Yeah.
All the guys had her back, so which is cool. Yeah, that was my last. And I still like the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, but when they fired her, I was like, they're making it harder and harder to even give them a shot with this stuff. And
I gotta step up my thumbnail game. And the anime guy just posted a thumbnail that looks so nice for his YouTube video.
Yeah, eventually I'll get some thumbnail game going too. But right now I'm just trying to get the art of, doing the scripting, getting it all together, and making my information cohesive, and then I'll work on, I guess, enhancing it.
Well, let me share a folder with you real quick here. 1 second. Where would it be? I think it's... Okay, not that one. I think it's on my D drive. Yeah, so I have, like, this is a folder I have on one of my drives here. And you can see stuff that I've started to work on. Like, there's my Legend of the Seeker stuff that I have published on my YouTube. I only went to number 5 before I stopped. I need to fix these, start over, make them better. And then my Wheel of Time stuff, is it even on here, or did I delete them all? I'm pretty sure I probably deleted them. They were so bad. So I need to do... Oh, here they are. Well, that's news. News. Wheel of Time news. Wheel of Time news. Yeah, those are all news ones.
I keep all mine in like a folder with like the video and the script and my and my other stuff associated with the episode.
There's my Conan with the Barbarian stuff there. Well, when I render it out from Adobe Premiere, I just tell it to go to my D drive and it just dumps it there. But you see up here where it says videos to edit? Like, these are all my, like, 8-bit computer stuff. See, these, I was telling you that I did a bunch of Atari refurbs and stuff.
Yeah.
I have, look at all this. And they're all massively long videos. Like, hours long. Because I just let the camera go until the battery goes dead. But look at all this.
You're way better than me, man. I just go and load up OBS, record what I'm going to say, maybe cut a couple seconds here and there and post it. I don't even go complicated.
Oh, so that was Atari 26. This is my Commodore 64 repairs that I did. Again, look, I mean, I have all these videos of all my Commodores and stuff that I need to, like, slice up and do something with. PC clones that I've done, my IBM 5170s and a bunch of Hewlett Packard stuff, Packard Bell, whatever it was back then. Here's an image here. I can pull that up. Yeah, Packard Bell. These are ones that I still have the Tandon down here. But I mean, I have all of this stuff that the original intention was to actually do a video. And I never did it. Right. This is we're coming up on done almost the 5 minutes of this exposure, and then I think this is the last target for the night. I've been doing this for 3 hours or so. I think I started at 9:15. So if I wrap it up in 5 minutes, that'll be 11:15. I'll do one more after this because I've run out of targets that I can actually see in the sky tonight.
Huh.
All right,
I
there
just
we
caught
go.
an article here. Apparently, some rocket failed from NASA and it lost 2 satellites.
Yep,
Surprise.
saw that. Yep, yeah. The starts with an A. The rocket
Astra.
Astra. Yeah, yeah. I saw that earlier. I looked at the video on YouTube. Basically, it went. It went up to deploy and then it failed on deploy.
Now, is that Astra rocket? Is that a NASA rocket or is that a private sector like Elon stuff?
I think it's private. It's a private company.
Yeah.
So what we're looking at here is the Leo Triplet, and this is a horrible image compared to when I, do it like in monochrome and stuff. But I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. So we have the Hamburger Galaxy, which is an edge-on galaxy, an absolute remarkable galaxy. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. Then we have this one over here, so colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. Another one, Spiral Galaxy. And then this little guy down here.
Go back
which
to that
is,
for a second.
Yeah.
Did you watch the episode 2 of the Orville?
Yeah, I've seen all this season. Yeah.
That color scheme reminds me of the Lovecraftian alien color scheme. Even the shape of it. Think about the ship that came at the end. That's pretty nifty coincidence.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then this one here. Let's see if we can center it. There's another really cool, kind of tilted a little bit. Part of the Leo Triplet. So I like this one because I can fit all 3 of them in the same field of view.
Yeah.
And on my big camera, which I showed at the beginning of this video or this stream tonight, this is my main camera right here. I can't see anybody anymore because I don't have it. But this is my good camera.
Yeah.
I actually am going to sell this or try to sell it and then buy a different camera because I get vignetting really bad with that camera. Because of the full frame sensor, the corners don't get enough light. They're slightly dimmed. So you can see it from that, what we just saw. You got the one that's the hamburgers up here. Then you have this one over here. And it's not too bad. It just needs... See, Matt, let me give you a real quick kind of a tutorial on how this works, how you do this with this Astra imaging. So you come in here and you say, how many images do you want to take? And then you would do let's say 15, and then how much time? And then you would do, okay, I got to have at least 10 minutes of each frame. And then you do a light, then maybe have a filter on there, but I would use, because it's a color cameras on this telescope specifically, I would use maybe a narrow band, or I would put light pollution or something on there. Binning, I would not bin it, which means that the resolution of the camera stays the same. It doesn't double it. Dithering will take a picture and then it moves the telescope slightly and then the second picture is moved so that the noise doesn't stack up on top of each other. It offsets all the noise in the camera. Dither every single one, your gain, your offsets, all that kind of stuff here. And then the target you'd put up here, and a target options here. Slew to target, you turn that on. Center target, yes. Rotate if you're using a rotator, which I don't have turned on right now. And then when you're all done, and then also you see this says light right here. So this is light. I would add a row. Then this one would be like darks. And I would do that usually early morning or right before I image. Okay. The darks would be for the same exposure length, the same binning, all these things. And you would do a whole bunch of those as well. And then you would also do flats. So use a flat panel, like a light panel. You can almost use like a flat panel monitor and just put like anything white, open up a text document, put that on top. Anything where it's uniform across. You can use the sky at dusk or at dawn, like right before, where it's got that even blue across. You could do all that kind of stuff. And then, so this one would be, for example, a flat, and then you'd use a flat panel. So you'd set that on top. And then the last one is bias. And bias is as fast as your camera can possibly take an image. it just shows the noise. Usually the noise is off to like one side of the thing. So it's like a bunch of noise piles up on one side, and then it goes across. So you have all of those. And for example, on the bias, you wouldn't do 15, you would do maybe 100 because they're like really fast, or 1,000, but really probably 100 because it's like click, 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 click as fast as it can go. The darks would have to be the same. The flats, if you don't do 15 seconds or you don't do whatever it was, 600 seconds, these would be, yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm okay. Bias would be 0. You just make it 0. And then the flats would probably be, you actually use a flat wizard. See it right here on the top, right here it says flat wizard. You'd use that. And then it would probably be like 2 seconds, something like that. And then, okay, so now you have all of these files. So when you go to process, you say however many lights you have or however many exposed images of a thing.
Yeah.
And you drag them all in there. How many dark? So what a dark does is when I take a picture, like I'll go back to that picture we just took. See imaging. It's okay. So if there is a bad pixel, if there's random things in there that are like noise or whatever. So what happens is if you put the lens cap on your camera, anything that the camera sees is part of the sensor itself.
Yeah.
So what it does is you do like a whole bunch of them and you stack and combine them into one image. And then it says, okay, these are hot pixels. These are random like bursts, like where something like can't think of what it's called, but like a photon or a proton, something comes down and hits the camera and it actually makes a dot on the camera. There's all these things that can happen. So you take the darks and you subtract them from the lights. So it goes, okay, all XY coordinates, there's a thing there that we could see with the lens cap on. So I know to delete that from the actual image.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually deletes it. So it cleans it up incredible. And then the bias is like, yeah, any other noise, it'll subtract that from the image. And then the flats, as you can see, it's a little darker, perhaps up here in this corner. You got some of these dust motes. The dust motes would show up in the flat. So it says, okay, the dust motes are on the sensor, or it's on either the sensor or the filter. So those are not supposed to be there. So I'm going to delete those too. So it evens out all of these things. So the entire image becomes the background becomes uniform, and then all the noise is gone. And the more lights that you stack, so like I was back there, I said 15. Maybe I would do, instead of 15, maybe that number would be like 30. All right, so the more lights, the better. And so once you have 30 of those things, the signal goes up and the noise goes down, which is why earlier I was doing like deep sky stacking, where you stack all the lights, and then it increases the signal and lowers the noise. Or the noise actually stays the same, but it makes it so it's irrelevant. And I don't have on this computer. Hold on. Oh, it's okay. On this one, I'm not going to have any because I have not done any imaging on this computer since I reset it up. Hang on. I can't close this. There we go. So that's what you do. And then, of course, everything's automated. It'll slew to the target. It'll center the target. Plate solves it, which means it takes a image of the sky and it determines the coordinates of what it sees. It knows from basically a map of the stars. It goes, okay, I know exactly where I'm pointed. It then knows, okay, you need to be nudged over this way a little bit to be centered on the target. So it does that. It's all automated. And then I was explaining earlier about guiding. What I use on mine is something called an off-axis guider, which is the little pick-off prism right here. So light comes in, and then just that little part of it, like most of the light here goes onto the sensor. But the little bit on the lip here, the light goes in, and then it shoots up to this little camera here. And that camera will center on a star, and then it tracks that star. So if there's an error in the tracking of the telescope or wind or whatever, and that star moves a little bit, it goes up, it nudges the telescope back. It nudges and nudges. It keeps it centered. And that way you can do a 20-minute exposure and still have really nice, tight, round stars. There's no tic-tac shapes or anything like that. And so when you're all done, then like you use a separate piece of software. For example, I wonder if I have it up here. PixInsight. And it's going to laugh at me and tell me I haven't updated it in so long because it's been a very long time. But I think, yeah, it's basically the Photoshop for doing astro imaging. So as I was saying, we have, let me see here, script, batch processing, weighted batch pre-processing. So this is what I was talking about. So you load up all your bias files, all your darks, your flats, your lights, and then you put the directories and what kind of stuff you want to happen, and then you hit run, and then it chews through all the stuff, and it pops it out. Yes, and it pops out an image that looks pretty dang good. Let's see, it's quit. So, and then you tweak it. You could tweak it either in that software, or you could bring it into something like Photoshop.
Yeah.
Wish I had something I could show from previous times, but I think on, yeah, I was looking to see if I had my little portable hard drive here that I usually plug into stuff. I'll take the portable hard drive out to my observatory. I'll plug it into that computer. I'll do my imaging. And then, let's see, that's CD imaging with SGP. You know what? I might be able to. See, there's darks, flats, all that stuff from a previous thing. See, there's flats, darks, bias. M101. None of these. See, these are from my camera with multiple filters. So I have blue, I have green, red. So RGB. That's the one I have out at GMARS, or out at the thing. M106. Let's see, we have here nothing in that one. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot in here. Lights, here's lights. Okay. So what if I can, let me just grab one here. It's a 300 second. Oh, and it didn't debayer it. How do I make it debayer it? Can I do it from here? Show image histogram, mono. So it's just doing a mono. It's called the Crescent Nebula. Mm-hmm. But you see how clean the background is on this one?
Yeah.
That's because it's not taken here, but it's not debayered because it's a monochrome. So like I have to, there we go.
Still a cool looking image even for monochrome.
Yeah. Yeah, most of these are going to be a monochrome here. So let me see if I can. I got ragged on pretty hardcore by Floral under the whatever it was, under the rock, because it's a 10-second on the Pelican. It's not good. Because he wanted to see colors. He wanted to see like, where's all your color images? And I'm like, I don't know. CCD imaging, Nina, light.
Well, he's a professional puppet troll.
Oh, I know. I didn't take it personally, but I was just like, he was on my case about it. He's like, dude, where's all of your? Oh, there we go. There it is in color. That's a single image. So, but you could see the difference in the quality of what I was able to produce. But you see, like the noise. That's like not very good. That's why you gotta stack like all of these. You can see like these are all the same target. I think. See how many there are.
Yeah.
Like I went crazy with that. So let me see what this one is.
Software uses all that data to sort of give you a processed image of what's really there versus what's junk. Your camera.
See, the camera that I'm using tonight is the same one here. And if you see on the top right hand corner, it's got what we call amp glow. It's from the sensor. It's an old chip that creates like it's for DSLR camera. It's for daytime photography. So it has, you would not see this in a terrestrial photo, but because you're doing long exposures at night, it shows up. But a dark will subtract that noise out, and you wouldn't see that flare of light coming over. But yeah, that is one of the ones I took. That once you group them all together and do all the stacking, subtract all the stuff that we did, all the darks and bias and flats, it becomes into a pretty beautiful image. Let's see, crescent. There's another of the crescent. That's a 300 second. Let's see how this one looks. Yeah, that's another one. I must have been trying different software that night because it looks like they're all the same thing. Let's see. NGC, yeah, it's all the same. Okay. Let's see, Backyard Nikon, Astro Pixel Processor, Astro Art. So most of my stuff, like I said, is on my portable hard drive. So I don't have access to it right now. Okay, well, that's it. All right, I think I'm going to call it for a night right now because I either have to stay up till midnight plus in order to find more images, or I got to just go to bed. And I think I'll go to bed.
No, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was cool talking about cool stuff and showing,
Yeah.
and I'm like I said, my interest in this is more from, I love the stuff. Don't get me wrong. I have like 3 gigabytes of astronomy pictures like on my NAS over there that I load periodically and stuff. But like the science and the engineering that allow us to look at this stuff as well as the information it gives us is the fascinating part to me. I mean, the images are cool too, but and all that, but just the data that like when like we're talking about learning about these extraterrestrial events that could actually kill us, with gamma ray bursts, X-ray lasers.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was wanting to talk to you about before when I mentioned it. And honestly, and every time I do this, it gives us 2 things to do at once, right? It gives us, we could talk about things like that while I show the night sky. So it's kind of on the same topic. You know what I mean? Like it adds to the stream, definitely.
Now, I have one little thing for you to follow up on. Are you going to be doing more of this later today?
Today meaning tonight? No.
Today,
No.
So remember we're talking about that CME that got launched on the 13th, I think it was, right? So reading through that, right? And on later today on the 15th at Universal Time 0900, there's supposed to be some geomagnetic storms that could affect obviously viewing and all that stuff. So I was going to say, if you were looking, I was see if any of you get any disruptions to your view. I was going to say when the geomagnetic storms happen, because the CMA is supposed to pass near the Earth between now and the next. I can't find the exact time frame between now and like the next 2 or 3 days. And it's supposed to strike a glancing blow to the planet's magnetosphere. So
it all has to do with, okay, so for me to set up and do something, let me think here.
Well, I'm not saying go crazy for. I'm just saying if you happen to be on, like when you're doing it, when you're going to be on, check space weather and see if you see the effects they're talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be pretty cool if you could pick that up. Like and say, oh look, there's a geomagnetic storm blocking half of what I see or whatever.
Right. Let me see here.
That's like your national weather, the space weather.
No. I know. I'm looking at I'm looking at my weather to see. So Corona, it says patchy fog. So that's one of my issues too, is that if there's any moisture in the air, if there's any clouds, it really ruins everything. But Tuesday night, it says mostly clear again. That's what it said tonight. So now it's lied. It said now it's patchy fog, but it did say clear. It was this. But look, Wednesday night, it's clear again. So I'll probably do this again on Wednesday night. I probably will not do it tomorrow night. I'll probably do it Wednesday night and Thursday. And then Friday, you can see it's back to patchy fog again. So I think for me, it's going to be Wednesday and Thursdays because I don't have any streams I'm doing. I'm in the clear for both those nights.
I could probably listen again on Thursday for sure, but I have a 7:30 a.m. East Coast meeting on Thursday morning. So
yeah, no, it's all good, man. I'm going to do it no matter what, right? This is what I do. So I like to poke around in the sky and do stuff. And if you happen to be around and you want to come on, you can always just DM me and just let me know, like, hey, I'm around, and then I'll just send you a link. Otherwise, I'll just do it solo. I do it on my Broke Astronomer channel. I've been doing this for the 10 years, right? I've been doing this exact thing. And a lot of people know that I do this, and I'll get some people coming in from all over the world to say hi. And we just chat about some stuff, in the chat and all that. And but this is the first time I'm doing it on something like Restream where I can actually pull up comments and stuff. So that's always fun to do.
Hey, and it'll grow your channel. I mean, I don't know what your plans long term are, but I just hope to get my channel to the point where maybe I pull in a couple $100 a month as a self-supporting hobby, so I can do cool stuff.
Not even on my radar. There's milestones I want to make. See, okay, so my Broke Astronomer channel already has over 1,000. But I'm not I don't do it enough over there, and I don't have a fan base big enough. Like I'll have like 1 or 2 people watching
Yeah.
because of the time of day and all that. So I'm never going to have super chats. I'm never going to have 100 people watching, that kind of a thing. Over here on the OBG70 channel, that's more likely because I have more interaction with the audience on this side.
Yeah.
So that could be where I can have, some people that watch it, but it's so late at night that's the problem. It's like literally everybody that's in our little group, they're already in bed, right? So
Yeah.
it's difficult to have people on. So it's nice when people stop by, but this is more of a replay thing for most people. And I just like to do it's like this to me, Matt. It's like I'm going to do this. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to go across the night sky and I'm going to pull up images and look at stuff. I'm doing it if I didn't have a stream at all. I'm going to be sitting here doing it, probably watching Netflix on one of the monitors. So it's a matter of just going like click to go live. It's just that simple. And so it's whatever it is. Sometimes I think to myself, I'd rather not stream and be able to watch Netflix while I do this. Because, that's kind of what I'll do. But I haven't done this in so long that I'm interested in doing some streaming for a while. So, but then I have a new mount coming that I just purchased, and that'll go out to my observatory, replace the one that's out there that I sold a couple days ago. And so once that's out there, then I'm going to be going out there for most of my stuff, which is going to put a little bit of a damper on things like doing the shows with Adam, because I can't do on those nights. I can't do sci-fi fantasy, and I obviously won't be around on Sunday to do the roundtable. And then I think it was Hollywood Scholar was talking about doing some Orville. So that would be Thursdays, he said, or Fridays or Thursdays morning. I think whatever it was, he said he's going to try to figure it out. So if he wants me to do that on his channel, then that's going to be. Sometimes I can't make it to that. So, but yeah, and I'm going to be doing the Monday stuff now. See, I'm not doing the monsters because well, I can't tell you online, but I can tell you offline. So let me go ahead and end the stream, and then I'll catch up on what happened.
Thanks
and
for
then
listening, everyone.
Yep. Thank you very much. I hope you all had a great time. I'm going to hit this button and then I'll kill it out. See ya.